A New York City man has been charged with assault after he was beaten up by a cop on a subway. Now, I'm going to get to more details of this story. What he is charged with will blow your mind after watching this video. So first, let's go to the video here. Just a quick caption on the tweet. A homeless man left a crowded shelter the night of May 25th and sat on the train with a few tote bags. Cops told him to leave. Then, this happened.
Don't touch me.
Let's go. Let's go.
Get off of me.
Come on, just step up.
Get off of me.
Step on the train.
Come.
All right. So you see how quickly that escalated. And it wasn't the guy on the train escalating it. It was the police officer escalating it. Their job is to de-escalate these situations. Now, the full clip is 4 minutes long. I'm not going to play all of it, as it's disturbing. But I will link to it below the video. It doesn't get any better. He's arrested. He's pushed against the wall. He's arrested. He's threatened with pepper spray. He's clearly scared the entire time. His ear is bleeding. And then he's put on the ground. He's arrested, and then he's taken away on a stretcher. Now, this is... You may think, well, this man must have done something really bad, right? He must have done something horrible. That's why they're treating him like this. That's why they're pulling him off an empty train. Fairly empty train here. Almost nobody on here. The guy's just sitting down, not disturbing anybody. What did he do? What did he do? It was around 12:30 a.m. on May 25th, according to a criminal complaint, when police approached Joseph because Officer Shmuel Saha said he was, quote, occupying more than one seat. He was occupying more than one seat on a near-empty number 6 train. Then he left the car and moved to the next one, where he sat down on a different seat, also where nobody is. Again, more than a half-empty train. One guy sitting in front of him. I think one guy was down here, sitting down with his bags, taking up more than one seat. That's why he was pulled off the train. That's why he was beaten up, and is now facing a felony charge, a felony assault charge, where he can be imprisoned for up to 7 years. And let me give you the details of that as well, because also it will blow your mind. This. Saha said in a criminal complaint that Long told him Joseph kicked his right hand. I watched the 4-minute video. I didn't see that. Maybe it happened off camera, but I didn't see that in the 4-minute video. Kicked his right hand while the officers attempted to cuff the ejected rider on the platform. Long, according to Saha, quote, sustained swelling and substantial pain to the knuckles of his right hand and was transported to the hospital. He informs me that because of the swelling, he is unable to open and close his hand without experiencing pain. So because the officer has a hard time opening and closing his hand without feeling some pain, this guy may get up to 7 years in prison. Likely for an injury that the officer has because the officer smacked him in the face with that hand. It really is remarkable what is put into police reports that is just not true. And for how long the media, local news, has just taken police reports as fact without questioning it ever, because they assume, oh, it's the cops, it's the authority figures. Why would they lie? Well, this man is facing up to 7 years for taking up 2 seats on a subway. What a crazy system. It's amazing to me. I also want to share this here. The guy really had no idea why he was being approached. I mean, it goes to the point that he wasn't doing anything wrong here. He wonders if police approached him in a case of mistaken identity. Quote, I feel like somebody else did something that looks like me, and I'm getting the repercussions from it, he said. He still doesn't know why he was stopped, why he was taken off the train. I guess for taking up 2 seats. That's the extent of it? Your tax dollars, if you're in New York, your money's going to funding the police for taking people off of empty trains where people are taking up 2 seats. You wonder why people say defund the police. There are too many cops with nothing to do. This is what they're doing. Policing subways. How can anybody possibly defend this? It really is, it's just completely insane. I have an update to this story, and it's mostly good. So this from The Gothamist. After publication of this article, Manhattan DA Vance's spokesperson Fowles said Joseph's felony assault charge would be dismissed. The DA would offer an adjournment in contemplation of dismissal in ACD for the separate misdemeanor charge for resisting arrest, which would mean the case would be dismissed and sealed if he is not arrested for 6 months after taking the ACD. She added, quote, potential police misconduct was also under review. Quote, our office has charged dozens of uniformed officers for official misconduct and violence since 2010 and will continue to do so in any case where such charges are supported by the facts and the law, Fowles said. Joseph's lawyer, Ness, said the offer of an ACD falls woefully short. Up until yesterday, the DA's office fully intended to prosecute this case as a felony. It's shameful that it takes a bad headline for Vance and his ADAs to finally do right by our vulnerable clients, Ness said. We demand that DA Vance immediately dismiss all charges pending against Joseph. The NYPD said the incident is under review. So, partial good news here. It still doesn't... I'm with the lawyer here. All charges here should be dropped. But the initial point stands. I mean, the initial point in the video that I shot stands. Why was the man pulled off a train for taking up 2 seats? Why was he beaten up for taking up 2 seats? This is what your tax dollars go to. So when I talk about defund the police, I'm not saying abolish the police. I'm talking about there are too many cops doing too many things. So when it comes to dealing with the homelessness, which this is a case of that, why are the cops involved? Why not a mental health care professional? Same thing when it comes to issues where people call the police because they're having, or their friend is having a mental episode. The cops shouldn't go to those calls. Mental health care professionals should go to those calls. So there are other ways to deal with many of the things that police are called on to deal with, where you're not bringing somebody into the situation who has, a weapon on them or is going to use force.